Light up the world with a little more truth. I got a couple more words. Lights, camera, action. I'm looking for a change or a chain reaction. Lights, camera, action.
So what is up, guys? It is Nistro here today, and today I want to talk to you guys about Legendary Duelists Dissected that did actually come out today. And this is going to be a dissected series, so later on I am actually going to talk about every archetype in the set. Usually I do it like the days before the set comes out, but this time I think I'm going to do it a little differently and doing it the days following the set. But, you know. Yeah, I just want to talk about Legendary Duelists because it's a different set than we've gotten, like, compared to anything we've gotten recently, because this is one of those sets that is focused entirely on archetypes. Like, if you look at this the set list, there are hardly any cards in this set that are outside of what is supposed to be in one of these decks. Like, the only thing that's not supposed to be here is from Spear Karibo to the Golden Apples, because Bonding H2O can technically be considered with the Water Dragons and all that. So there's roughly only about like 7 cards here, 8 cards here that actually aren't focused on a specific archetype. Everything else in the set is focused on an archetype, on an anime archetype, nonetheless. So it's something a little different than what we've got recently. We haven't gotten like a set like this in like a long time, because most of these sets, like Battles of Legend, that was focused on reprints and like miscellaneous cards that were kind of like nothing was like too apparent. Like, we probably got a bit of support for super heavies, a bit of support for like Destiny heroes and like abyss actors, but it wasn't anything that was like, it seemed focused on any specific type of deck or archetype. This set, it's like its main gimmick is that it's focused on like 6 different archetypes, from like Amazoness, Red Eyes, Roids, Cyberdark, and like Bonding H2O. So yeah, it has a bunch of cool decks in it, but the question is, for this set, is it worth getting? So like I've heard a lot of arguments throughout the week that yes, you should, no, you shouldn't, and you know, it's up to the buyer. You know, nobody has the right to, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you can't really tell the buyer what to do with their money, which is kind of what you're doing, but you know, it's kind of a fair point as well, because you know, at the end of the day, you can tell me not to do something, but I can still do it. So going over like the decks, like the actual archetypes in the set aren't anything too meta relevant, and like Red Eyes is something that's been like pretty lackluster from the beginning. It's just something that seems like it's always missing the right support, and like the support that came in this set, which you'll see in my Red Eyes, since I'm going to make videos focusing on every individual archetype, I don't want to go too much into it now, but you know, Red Eyes is something that seems like the support in this set kind of like, although it opens like a new playstyle for the deck, it doesn't really add anything significant that would make the deck a stronger deck in general. I feel like it just it gives it variation, but not in a way where it makes it more relevant. Amazoness, the support is weird and it doesn't solve the problems of the deck. It definitely does give it a little more consistency and speed, but doesn't solve the deck's problems. The fact that we're getting like the Legendary Fisherman is kind of like having his own deck, like this whole Mako Tsunami deck, I think that's actually pretty cool. It's something that I feel like could have been executed a little better. Like, these spell and trap cards aren't really anything too relevant. The Legendary Ocean does work nice with the deck, but and I think the only good thing about the deck is the Legendary Fisherman 3, because oh boy, if you have not read Legendary Fisherman 3's effect, let me just show you this thing right now, because this is like the craziest thing ever. So okay, let me just give you a bit of context. So Legendary Fisherman 1, Legendary Fisherman 2, right? 2 is the one that just came in this set. So both of them gain like some type of immunity when Umi is on the field, and so the Umi that you would use is a Legendary Ocean. A Legendary Ocean would lower their levels by 1 in the hand, so they will be level 4 monsters, normal summonable monsters, while the Legendary Ocean's on the field. The original Legendary Fisherman being at 1800 because he would be unaffected by all spell effects, and the Legendary Fisherman 2 would be at somewhere around what? He would be like 24 because he would have an extra 200 boost, and then he'll be a level 4 monster, and he'll be unaffected by the monster effects your opponent controls, as long as Umi is on the field. So, or, in this case, a Legendary Ocean, since it counts as Umi. So, Legendary Fisherman 3 is the only reason I would even bother touching a Legendary Fisherman deck, just because he can't be norm summoned or set, and he has to be special summoned by attributing a Legendary Fisherman monster, or attributing the Legendary Fisherman. Both Legendary Fisherman 1 and 2 count as, the card name, the Legendary Fisherman, so you can attribute either one. When he's special summoned, you banish all monsters your opponent controls, but it can't attack this turn. So, just straight up, he gets to banish all your opponent's monsters just by special summoning himself. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and is also unaffected by spell or child card effects. Pretty much what this card's saying here, what I'm reading, is that if you don't have a kaiju, and if you don't have like a Crystal Wing or something that specifically stops monster effects, you are like a monster that stops monster effects. Maybe Solemn Strike to his special summon. You can probably be able to do that. But it's like, if you wait for his effect, he's like almost untouchable. And, once per turn, you can turn as many of your opponent's banished cards as possible to the graveyard. And if you do the first battle or effect damage your opponent takes this turn, becomes doubled. So the turn after, you put all their banished stuff back in the graveyard. Obviously it has to be like at least one, because, there would have to be a banished card for you to activate the effect, even if it doesn't say a minimum. But yeah, it's still a pretty solid card, and although it is pretty gimmicky, not searchable, and a little hard to summon, it's something that, like, this is the only reason I would even think of, like, consider getting a Legendary Fisherman deck for. But yeah, let's just go back to the set list. But yeah, other than Legendary Fisherman, there's like Roids, and then there's like some bonding Water Dragon deck, which is actually something that I'm actually real interested in as well, and I'm gonna give you guys a deck profile of once I figure out a decent build for this deck. This deck seems pretty fun. It won't be anywhere near as strong as the other Dino builds, but it's just the whole fact that we're using Water Dragon kind of, and it's like chemistry based with like bonding. That's really what gets it for me. Also, little tiny market watch included here. Technically my first one. Don't invest in this set right now. Don't buy singles. Don't even buy the box. Nobody is gonna buy these cards for these prices. Like look at $20 for a Red Eyes Baby Dragon, bro. Nobody's touching that. Nobody's touching this Gearfried, and nobody's touching any of this stuff. Like, wait a week and see if these are the actual prices. I don't think these are going to be the actual prices moving forward. Like, this is way too crazy. Now, this is like a set where supers and like hollows aren't guaranteed in every pack. So it's understandable why, well, it's not entirely understandable, but it's like slightly understandable why these cards would be expensive, but not to a point where I think Red Eyes Baby Dragon should be $20. Like, this is just absolutely silly. You can see that, although, like, most of these are still entirely in stock, like 26, 36, 20, like, this is still, like, people haven't touched this stuff yet, because everybody knows, like, this is way too high of a price to even invest in. So, if you're thinking of buying Legendary Duelists, save your money. Don't get it right now. All right, just mini market watch right here. Just don't invest in this set right now. This is absolutely disgusting. I checked earlier, Amazon and eBay didn't really have these cards yet, so just wait until the market evens out in more places and you have more places to buy it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little rundown on Legendary Duelists. Honestly, if you want to get it, just wait. There's nothing in here that really warrants you like, oh, I have to get this day one. It's something that you can just wait a week on. And although the archetypes aren't going to be anything too meta relevant, like, it can still be pretty fun. And just look out for the Dissected series I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about each archetype in the set. But until then, let me see you guys on the next one. This was Nistro here. Peace out.